Brendan Rodgers has left Liverpool. Brendan Rodgers is no longer the Liverpool manager. We heard a few moments ago there was going to be a statement at 6:30 that there was news coming out of Liverpool. Brendan Rodgers gone. Graeme, Souness, your first reaction?
I'm stunned by it. I think didn't have a good season last year, but they gave him another trench of money at the start of the season to go again, and so soon into this season of parting company. I find that amazing. Brendan
Rodgers gone, Jamie.
It hasn't gone well for him this season. He needed to make a good start to the season because he was maybe fortunate in terms of staying on at the end of last season. A lot of the staff moved on, so the new staff come in. He spent 70-80 million pounds, and then 7 games later, Liverpool are changing the manager. That's what I don't like about that. Just do it in the summer, if that's a situation. If finished poorly, you think of the semi-final against Aston Villa, games against Hull, Palace, and that finish at Stoke. So he was lucky to keep his job. But to then put him in, keep him in charge and give him that money and change the manager after 7 games, he'll have known himself he had to make a big start, and he hasn't. So that's where the pressure comes from. I said a few weeks ago, maybe get towards the November international break, maybe towards Christmas. But at the moment, the natives are restless in terms of the supporters. But in terms of the owners making that decision, they've made a lot of decisions since they've come that haven't worked. Director of football, Damien Comolli, comes in. They appoint Kenny Dalglish. They get rid of him after so long. They've now gone with a transfer committee. That's not working. They kept Brendan Rodgers on in the summer. That was obviously a mistake. So they made a decision now, whoever they bring in. But at this moment, the owners of the football club's track record in making decisions for Liverpool Football Club over the last 2 or 3 years has not been good enough. It's miles off. Now, Brendan Rodgers can't argue. In some ways, I preferred him to have done it in the summer. But he's been there 3 and a bit years. He hasn't won a trophy, and they've played Champions League football once. That's not quite... It's not good enough for Liverpool.
But in
that's why they've changed.
In that time, in his defence, he's had teams always compared to when they overachieved massively, when they nearly won the league and finished second. He's had best players taken off him as well, in particular Luis Suarez. There'll be plenty of sympathy out there as well, won't there?
Maybe there will, but when you've lost those players, they've then reinvested the money. I don't think Brendan could say he hasn't had enough money to spend, nearly £300 million, and very few of those players have gone on now. But the situation Liverpool find themselves in now, it's not just for Brendan. This has been going on for a long time. Even when I was there, we talk about how long Arsenal have gone without trophies. Liverpool have won 1 Carling Cup in 10 years. Now, Liverpool are becoming Tottenham. Think they're a big club, but the real big clubs are not too worried about them, who they buy, what they're going to do. That's the situation it's become for Liverpool. Even when I was there towards the end, I'm not just blaming Brendan Rodgers and this set of players. What are these owners of the club going to do to get Liverpool back to where they need to be, which is consistently in Champions League and challenging for trophies? Because at this moment, we're becoming a team who think we're a big club, but we're not.
Great.
Yeah, I think you'd expect me to say this. I just didn't, with all due respect to Brendan Rodgers, I just don't see how they gave him the job in the first place. I mean, they're replacing Kenny, who wins a League Cup. If it hadn't been for Peter Cech, they might have won the FA Cup against Chelsea. If you remember the save he makes at 1-0, he makes a ridiculous save, Peter Cech. I think what Liverpool have become under these owners, and you're right, I think they go out and buy the best young players, hoping they'll develop them into good players or top players and sell them at a profit. It hurts me to say this. I think Liverpool have become a selling club. When was the last time they went out and bought the finished article? Would Benteke be deemed the finished article? You know, the teams that go out and buy the finished article are, funnily enough, it's Man United, it's Chelsea, and it's Man City. And what do they have in common? They win the Premier League. So I'm amazed by the story. I'm amazed by the story. And I'm not sure which way it'll turn now.